made this today. That's for sure. We have a 2010 Dodge Mini SUV with a intermittent note start condition. And when it does start, it puts it in gear and it stalls immediately. So let's wait for this line to pass and then observe that concern. Okay, now that that line of cars is gone, let's get the key off my key thing here. Let's see what happens. I'm hearing a bunch of relays click. It needs an oil change. The engine's not seized because of that, so obviously didn't overheat. I'm hearing the fuel pump. It's got fuel. Right, let's get it pushed on the shelf and check codes. Press the scan tool. Take my module. There's the OBD port. There somewhere. Alrighty. I got a Dodge. Ignition's on. I think it's a 16-pin. Auto search. Yes. System scan. So right now what I'm doing is making sure that all the codes are good and that it hasn't got any computer electronic faults. Alrighty. Let's check the PCM. Read fault codes. DTC information. What do we have? Oh boy. So I have an active accelerator pedal position fault. This thing is about as useful as a can of beans. BCM's not giving me anything. Let's try the WCM. Fault code read. Key fob too low, so that would be why the other key, not this key, but the other key fob fails. Lost communication with ECM. Lost communication with ABS. Secret seed response not received from ECM. Let's go to the PCM and let's read live data. Okay, so I'm going to set this here and I'm going to try and start it, and we're just going to watch this. Don't want to overwork the starter. So right now we have no fuel trim. See, 0 fuel trim. Let's see what happens when you try and start it. Okay, the O2's got voltage, which is good. The O2's not misreading. Cam crank difference, we have 0.4 difference there. I want to watch this EGR stuff, so let's see. I didn't see anything come from that EGR valve. Where's that EGR valve? Because I know the EGR valve on this car can be a problem. So I want to see if I can find it and force it open. EGR valve. So we're going to see if we can hear that EGR valve open. Where is it? It's right there. So we want to hear that open. I want to pull this fender off because the battery is down under that fender. I want to pull this fender off and see if I can get at that and measure those terminals. So the scan tool here is not giving me much. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and I'm wanting to look at guided component testing for spark and for fuel. Battery's good, the EGR valve is good, it's responding, but what I'm not getting is I don't have throttle input from the pedal. I'm pretty sure the throttle body's not the problem. I think it's the module or the sensor under there, but I want to see if I have spark and I want to see if I have fuel. The engine obviously has got compression, it sounds like it's got compression. I'm pretty sure it has fuel because I feel I can hear the fuel pump when I turn the key. And it's obviously in time because it's got ignition, it's got compression. And it's also got air because there's no obstructions here. This is, you know, perfectly fine. What I don't like is that module there is new, that PCM. And I got a ton of codes from the PCM that I don't think were cleared. Also, this car was diagnosed by a third party, and they could not fix it, so that's why I have it here. But I don't know what they did. So I'm going to read through this and try and test. Okay, Dodge's test for these coils makes absolutely no sense, so I'm just going to probe this connector. It's got 3 pins. I'm going to test for ground. Fail number 2. We're going to pop these coils back on, and we're just going to pull these coils out because I don't have a meter lead that is thin enough to fit in there, so I have this. Pop this coil out. Try and pop this coil out. There it is. And then we take our plug, pop our plug in, like so. And then we ground this plug to a ground, and we test for spark with that. Alright, go ahead. No spark. Go ahead. Stop. No spark. So if you've never used one of these, it's basically, this is the coil, you leave the coil plugged in, you put this tester in, then you hook it through a jumper wire, or if you just have the space, you hook it to a ground, which I'm having right here, and then you watch for spark. There are many ways to test it, but that's the one that I'm using because it's the easiest. No spark in any of these 3. I don't think we have any spark here, which could be cause of a problem.
Can I get you close to the store?
Yeah, go ahead. Question is, why don't we have spark? So, let's button this up, because I'm out of time, and start this again next week.